Hey guys, it's Maggie, and it's been a while since we've sat down to record a video all about ostomies. I got the nice camera out, I got the light out, I got everything, and it took me like an hour to set up, so hopefully this video turns out okay. If you're new to my channel, my name is Maggie. I am a 27-year-old nurse and patient. I have been living with an ostomy bag for exactly 11 years. Today is my 11-year anniversary of having an ileostomy bag. I have Crohn's disease, which is an autoimmune disease of the intestines, so I got rid of my colon, and now I live a happy life with a permanent ostomy. Because of all this, I became a nurse, and I'm gonna probably say it in the beginning of all videos from now until, who knows, I just got married, so yay! So on this channel, I show you how to live a full life with an ostomy or really any chronic illness. Today, however, we are focusing on ostomies because I was in the shower and I was thinking about the last time I ordered ostomy supplies, which really wasn't that long ago. It was like 5 or 6 days ago. And I thought about how even after having an ostomy bag for 11 years and how I've been doing this for such a long time, how confusing the process is for all patients. And what I'm going to talk about is something that I actually found myself teaching more to nurses than I ever have patients, because patients have to pick this up pretty quickly, but nurses, they might not run into ostomy care too often. And when they get a patient with an ostomy bag, they might not know what to order for that patient. So I'm going to talk to you about two-piece bags. They're the most popular, it seems, and how you figure out which one is going to be right for you, especially sizing wise. The information that I'm giving in this video is not to replace what your doctor or your nurse has told you. This is just to be a supplemental help, or for those of you who don't have access to a WOCN or a stoma nurse, hopefully this is some information for you to use. This is based on my experience of being a nurse and having an ostomy bag for all these years, but what I say might not be the same as what another nurse may say. Ostomy care is an art. It is a beast. It is very confusing, and there isn't always one right way to solve a problem with ostomy care. So this is just what I've learned to be true for me and what has worked for me. And if you find yourself without a stoma nurse, or you're just looking for more information, manufacturers of ostomy bags also have great resources on their website, and they also have representatives or product specialists that can help you. So like I said, I have helped a lot more nurses with this information than I really ever have with patients. Patients really tend to pick this up quickly, but with nurses, like I said before, they might only run into ostomies every once in a while. So that's why this video is also geared towards nurses as well. And what I'd often find, at least when I was working in the hospital, nurses would come over to me and say, "Hey Maggie, my patient has this size stoma. I don't know what to order on this sheet of all these products. I don't know which bag goes with which flange. I'm just really confused." And it got to the point where I could look at an ostomy flange or wafer. Those terms are used interchangeably, by the way. Flange or wafer can refer to the base plate. There's a third term for you. It's what sticks to the actual abdomen. But nurses wouldn't know which flange would work with which bag or pouch. And just a side note, I have mentioned this before too. Some people are offended by the term bag. I am not. I've had my ostomy for 11 years. I've always called it an ostomy bag. Some people prefer the term pouch. I'm not sure why there's a feeling of ostomy bags being offensive. It's not to an actual patient, at least not to myself. Now, that's not speaking for all of the patient population who has an ostomy, but I'm just giving you a forewarning that I say bag and I'm not going to change it. So anyway, I got to the point where I would look at a flange or a wafer, and I'd look at a bag, and I would know exactly what size that is. I also would be able to look at a stoma and be able to pick out the appropriate pouch size and be able to cut it just from eye. I got to the point where I didn't even need to measure the stoma because I do it just so dang much. But just before we get into talking about how to pick the bags out, I'm just going to show you the anatomy so you know what I'm talking about when I talk about it. So you've got your flange or your base plate or your wafer. You've got the ring or the coupling right here. You've got the hole in the center. Now this is a cut to fit bag, which means that you can cut it to any size or shape as long as it's within the maximum stoma size. And the maximum stoma size you can see is the largest blue marking. If it would focus on this, there we go. the largest blue circle here. Sorry, my dog is on the floor right there if the audio is picking that up. So, this ring here is what attaches to the bag's coupling, which you can see right here. These match in size, so they can click together. There are tons of brands of ostomy supplies, and the major ones are going to be Hollister, Coloplast, and Convatec. And then you've got some other brands like Salts, there's Marlin, there's Symed, what else is there? There's New Hope, and you can simply just Google, ostomy brands and you'll be able to find all of these. But I'm actually going to show you Coloplast and Hollister in this video. These are Coloplast. So there are two numbers that you're going to be looking out for when you're ordering your ostomy supplies, and that's going to be the ring size or the coupling size, and then the maximum stoma size. And the maximum stoma size is basically the largest diameter of stoma that will fit in there. And then the ring size is, like I mentioned before, this coupling or ring, this plastic ring, that's the diameter of those. So I suggest going for the flange or the wafer first and looking at those. You want to know the maximum stoma size, and if you have an oblong or non-circularly shaped stoma, you're going to want to take the widest part. So if my stoma looked like this, I would measure across, and whatever that number is, you're going to keep that in mind when you go to order the flange. Measurement of your stoma needs to be at or below the maximum stoma size of that flange. So right here I have the Coloplast wafer, and its maximum measurement for stomas is 1 3/4. Hopefully, if you can't see it there, it shows it very tiny right down here, 1 3/4. So I know that my 1-inch size stoma will fit in this because 1 inch is smaller than 1 3/4. The other thing to keep in mind is you may have a small stoma. I have a 1-inch stoma, which they're smaller, but mine is on the smaller side. This is a medium flange in the Coloplast world. So there is a smaller flange and then there is an even larger flange. And when you're looking at the maximum diameter of stomas for this, the larger that gets, generally the larger the flange itself gets. So it gets wider and wider. Now I'm fairly petite, and I found after a few years of using the medium size that this was kind of too big for me. I didn't like how much of my abdomen this was taking up, so I decided to move down a size. So I'm going to show you the ones that I now use. I use the smaller size of Coloplast flanges, and this one, instead of being a maximum stoma size of 1 3/4, it is now 1 3/8. So I can show you on the box. Now, if you go onto Coloplast's website, you can find more information about the actual ostomy bag measurements and the flange measurements. The other thing that you'll notice, and this is just specific to Coloplast, which is something I actually don't prefer. I think that they're trying to make it less confusing, but it makes it more confusing, unfortunately, is, all right, so if we look at this box here, you can see on this right side, there's green, like a green tab. But if you look at another size flange, this is the next size up, you're gonna see red, and then the next size up from there is blue. They kind of associate their sizes with colors. And unfortunately, if you buy your Ostomy products from different websites or manufacturers, they all list it differently. So some will tell you just the color, some will tell you just the size, and if they're good, they'll tell you both. That's one of my grievances with it. So go to the Coloplast website to get all of the information about it. But yes, you'll see that there is green on this box right here. The flange box itself does not say the coupling size. The only thing it says is the maximum size for your stoma. So what you would do is you would then order the associated green ostomy pouch or bag. So when we look at this box, this is the box of bags. You'll see the same green. And then right here, you'll see the maximum coupling or ring size. Sorry, not maximum, just the ring size. So for my green bags, it is 1 9/16 inches, which means that that ring on the flange itself, right here, would be 1 9/16 inches. All right, hopefully I haven't thoroughly confused you yet. Let me know if I am. Next, we're gonna look at Hollister, so we can talk about those two. A lot of people use Hollister or Coloplast. They're the two major brands. What I like about Hollister is that on the flange packet itself, it has both the maximum stoma size and the ring size, so you can match them much easier. So they're very clear about it too, which is super nice. You can see this is the flange, and right here you've got your measurements. So it shows you the ring size, and then below that, the maximum stoma size. That maximum stoma size, again, being the maximum size that you can cut the flange to. And then that ring size is what you're going to make sure matches your bags so they can click together and fit together. So if we take our box of Hollister bags, you can see right here is your ring size. And that matches with the ring size on this package. So it makes it a little bit more simple. This is really important to know for both patients and nurses because it helps, A, cut down on product waste. If you order something that is too small or too big and you've already opened it, it can't be returned. For the most part, it can't be used by anybody else. And then also for the patient, if you order the wrong size, it may lead to it not fitting properly and then therefore leaking on the patient, which then causes skin irritation, and you've got a whole new slew of problems. So that is what we're trying to avoid with this video. And if this video is still confusing to you and you're just not sure what to order, especially if you're a new patient, calling your supply company can be so helpful because you can tell them exactly what your stoma size is and they will say, hey, here's the flange and the wafer that go together, use these and you'll be good. And obviously the manufacturers, the actual company, Hollister or Coloplast or Convatec or whoever, is going to be able to do the same for you. All right, I hope that if you are a patient, this was helpful and relieves some of your stress when it comes to ordering. And if you are a nurse, hopefully it relieves some of your stress when you get an ostomy patient and you don't know what the heck to do with them. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next. Bye.